here she comes, the highwaywoman. She comes with music for your soul, and then moves along. She moves along.
This is Brigitte London. You're listening to the Highwaywoman radio show, and this is our special 2-year anniversary special. I have a guest co-host, my dear friend, and one of my favorite singer-songwriters, Mr. Daryl Wayne Dasher. And very shortly, we're going to have one of our very favorite songwriters on the show, Roger Allen Wade, and we're going to be talking with him about his new album. I'm going to play one of my favorite cuts Roger released quite a while back, called She's a Baby When She Cries.
She's an angel when she comes. She's a gypsy when she goes. But my heart beats like a drum. She steps out of her clothes.
And we're back here on the Highwaywoman radio show. This is Brigitte London, our special 2-year anniversary with my guest, co-host Daryl Wayne Dasher. And we're going to be talking to, in just a moment, one of our songwriting heroes, Mr. Roger Allen Wade. I can't wait.
Woo!
Should we call him? Let's call him.
Let's call him.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hey, Roger.
Good to hear from you. Is everybody doing okay?
I'm doing good.
Hey, Dash, how you doing, man?
I'm squeaking by. How you doing, Raj?
Couldn't be better, my friend. Just digging on the day. Everything's just wonderful.
Oh, good. It's nice here in Nashville, so I imagine it's nice in Chattanooga today.
Oh, yeah, it's so sweet, man. Just really, really good. Been looking forward to this, guys.
We're so excited to have you on the show, Raj. And God, it's been a while since we talked. So how have you been doing? You've been really kind of just hunkered down getting this record ready, right?
Yeah. Tell Dash, man, how much I dig his performance and treatment on True Love is Harder to Find song. The Follow Me thing, man, just knocked me out. And that just means the world to me, my brother, and thank you for doing that.
Oh my gosh! Well, that's such a relief to hear you say. I was so nervous about that song. It's my favorite song on my new record.
Man, you
it's
nailed
the only
it.
one I didn't write.
Oh, you really nailed it, man. I just blew me away, and like I say, it just means the world. Here's somebody you respect and admire take something and just make it their own. You know, I just couldn't be more pleased, man. And just from my heart, thank you.
Oh man, well thanks for letting me do it. It's like I said, it's my favorite track on the album. It's something I've been real blessed to have with me, and I've been playing it on the road, and think it's a song that everybody attaches to. The first time I heard it on a bootleg. I ripped off of Brigitte London. I think it was at the Saxon pub, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, and as soon as I heard that song, I mean, I just played it about 10 times in a row, and I was like, oh my gosh, I mean, my heart was just flipping over in my chest, and there's so many lines in there that meant a lot to me, so thank you for letting me make it my own.
Well, you could tell it come from the heart. Now if I can only get Bridget to sing some of them.
Well, we're working on that right now.
You know, Roger, I want to record everything you do is my problem. I want to record them all. But, you know, for the folks out there knowing, this is kind of a extra special here, having co-hosting, of course, with Daryl Wayne Dasher and having our wonderful friend and a songwriting hero, Roger Allen Wade, on the show with us, because Daryl Wayne Dasher, otherwise known as Dash, and I are actually going to be doing an album. We've been it's been kind of in the works for a long time, but we're finally actually going to get started now on it here shortly. All Roger Allen Wade songs. How cool is that, Roger?
That just, you don't know how happy that makes me. Boy, anything I can do to help, please let me know. And,
well, we're honored that you're okay with it, first of all.
Yeah, it's all skate now. I mean, all of them, even, I know we've done this, we just releasing our new album, Southbound Train, on Johnny Knoxville Records, and we recorded it out in Santa Monica, California with our good friend, Dan Creech, and he's really dialed in, to what we're doing, and so there's a bunch of songs on there I think, you could really nail. So it's all skate as far as what's available and what's not. Don't pay no attention to anything as far as, new records, old records, whatever. Just take them all, and that's fun. In fact, I got a version of Dash's song on this album, and we just, y'all kept it really simple, man. That meant a lot to me, that you kept it simple and let the song do the work, and anybody that's ashamed of that simplicity, they ain't worth talking to. And so I appreciate you keeping it simple. We just tried to, keep it, for me, it's a kind of a growing deal all the time. We're just trying to keep it simple and be, less vain about it, and just let the song do the work, and try to use just simple words and simple ideas to express, something maybe that's still trying to understand. So,
right.
We can't wait for everybody to hear this record, man.
Well,
and
yeah.
I can't wait to hear your versions of these songs as well.
Well, let's talk a little bit about this record. Okay, so Southbound Train. Now, Roger, when is this actually available for everyone to buy?
We got it. We just got it mastered, which I think you've got tracks to play on the show today, but I don't think they're mastered. The master. Usually I can't tell the difference, but this time the mastering just seemed to really embellish it and make it so much better. So I wish I had those. I tried to send you some earlier, but the files were too big. But we could play these and now give a little more variety to it when it does come out. But it should be available on iTunes and Amazon, and digitally it should be available within the next week or so.
Woo-hoo!
And then hard copies will be around that same time, I would think. Within the next 2 weeks. So just be looking for it. And y'all be sure, everybody out there, be sure to pick up a copy, because I got to pay my rehab bill.
Well, beginning on December 9th, when this airs, it should be available for everyone. And
it should be available then by the time the show is airing.
Yeah, and this is called Southbound Train. Now, this is a wonderful follow-up to your stellar album, DeGuayo Motel, which is just, and I want to tell folks, if they don't have it, they need to get that too, because that's just an incredible piece of work. And now, why don't you pick a song off of this new album, Roger, for us to feature, and we'll come back and talk a little bit more about the record.
Let's just do the title track, I guess. It's Southbound Train.
All right. This is Roger Allen Wade, folks, the one and only here. His brand new album is Southbound Train. Here's the title track.
But when I die, lay my soul on a southbound train. Don't you cry, Mama, Jesus killed the pain. You can bury my body in Detroit City in the early morning rain. Oh, but when I die, to lay my soul on a southbound train.
And that was Southbound Train from our wonderful guest, Roger Allen Wade. This is Brigitte London with my special guest co-host, Daryl Wayne Dasher, for this special anniversary show here, 2 years of the Highwaywoman radio show. And so excited to have both Daryl Wayne Dasher here, otherwise known as Dash, and our songwriting hero, Mr. Roger Allen Wade.
Happy anniversary, by the way. That is magnificent.
Thank you, honey. Woohoo! Now, Roger, for those that maybe are I can't imagine, they must be living under a rock, but some folks, if they're listening, this might be the first time that they hear from you. Let's tell folks, you've been songwriting a very long time, and you've actually had songs covered by the absolute greats of the business,
Yeah, been very fortunate like that. It wasn't nothing that I planned. That's just the grace of God, and just a lot of luck, and I guess just sticking around so long and not quitting. That's the only secret I know. Just to keep doing it, and sooner or later they get around to guys like us, and just saying, it makes me very happy, to have my heroes record my songs. But also, Dash is one of my heroes, and none of those, right now, my favorite cut I ever had is this song that Dash just did. I mean, that's my all-time favorite. And for a time, my all-time favorite was when you did Reckless Kind. So it just, it's neat to have, cats, Johnny Cash and Waylon and those kind of cats record your songs, but, I mean, it's no difference to me than having my friends and heroes as well. You and Dash do them, so it's just, it's like your children, that your songs are a bit like that, especially when you first write them. You play them for people, and if you show pictures of newborn babies to people, they can't really say, gosh, that's an ugly baby. They've got to look at it and say, hey, man, that's pretty cute. So you get a little slack when you first play these songs for people. They can't say, damn, that sucks. They gotta be kind of, well, that's pretty good, So it means the world to me to have you guys doing them.
Well, you know what? Speaking of Dash's version, how about we play that for everyone?
Can't wait to hear it.
All right. This is Daryl Wayne Dasher, folks, with his song of Roger's that he put on his brand new album, Great Big Sky, which is going to be released here shortly.
Say no word and stand by me. Truth ain't some stone buried deep in the mountain. Love ain't just roses and wine. Truth is a journey for 1 in 10,000, and true love is even harder to find. If I sailed off to war, would you wait for...
And we're back here on the Highwaywoman radio show. That was Daryl Wayne Dasher, Follow Me, song of Roger Allen Waits. Is that the right name of the song, Roger?
It's whatever Dash wants to call it. I think, I'm not certain, to tell you the truth, because I really don't know how it's listed legally, or however you say that, and don't really care. It's just, I think on our album it's called True Love is Harder to Find, and on Dash's, I think he's got it as Follow Me, and I think I may even be wrong about that. I really don't know. So all that matters is the song. But and get Dash's version of it, because it's knocked out.
Dash, are you still with us?
I sure am. I'm just sort of trying to collect myself here emotionally. This is really intense. I mean, recording the song is intense in the first place because it was such a powerful song for me, and I hope it is for lots of people. But just to hear Roger say all this crazy happy stuff about it, I'm feeling pretty good right now. So I needed that.
You got a great sound on it too, Dash. I mean, your voice and the guitar, it just rings so sweet and clear, and just very well done. Sonically as well. Just tickled to death with it all the way around.
So much fun.
Thank you. Yeah, that helps, because I'm actually in the final mixes of the album. It's going to mastering on Saturday, and this is my first self-produce. So I'm in the freak out mode right now, like, how bad did I screw this up?
Man, I know how you feel. I've been driving them nuts about this new record coming out, and you try to control it and be reasonable about it, but it's near impossible, because you put so much into it that you want it to, and especially when there's no smoke and mirrors, nothing. You're just kind of laying it out there. Yeah, I know what you mean. You're just hoping it works, but as long as you dig it, man, that's all that matters in the end.
Yeah, and that's when it's the most beautiful, I think, like when you were saying earlier, Roger, you just let the songs have to speak for themselves, and all of your songs always do, and they speak to us. So I think the reason why so many people like Dash and myself, I mean, even though we write our own songs, we hear you have such an ability to, I mean, God, Roger, you say things in a way we never could, but want to. I don't know. I can't say enough about how we all feel about your songwriting. We're not the only ones, and I'm just excited because I feel like you're finally getting, other people out there are finally realizing this great talent that you have, and when you're writing, Roger, like when you're recording, do you find yourself getting inspired and writing while you're recording and deciding to throw something new on the fire along with what you've got, or are you going over older stuff? Or tell us about the material on this new Southbound Train.
Well, some of this stuff seems to get more clear from a distance, you know. I mean, there's songs that I wrote a while back that I didn't quite get at the time, but just some things that I've been through, you know, they seem to be a little more precious to me and making more sense. Then there's some new things. And, you know, I have a tendency to, you know, try to complicate things just for some ignorant reason. But I've come to find, you know, the truth ain't that complex or complicated. You know, it's when you go to try to dodge the truth that things get complicated. So that's a good thing about having Knox in the studio with me. That's Johnny Knoxville I'm speaking of. The way we record is so basic and simple. And like I say, there's absolutely no tricks and no smoke and mirrors. I got to sit there with what I consider, you know, one of the most brilliant minds I've ever encountered. And he is basically the audience. And if it raises the hair on his neck, it's a take. And we move right on. And if it don't move him, if it don't get him, he don't care about how correct it is or how right it is or in tune or out of tune. Man, if it don't get him, I could do a perfect take, but if it don't chill him or something, man, you know, it ain't it. You know, he won't buy it. We have the pleasure of having our friend Dan Creech, you know, running the board that puts up with all of our nuttiness and gets it all down for us. And it's just been one of the sweetest things artistically to get to work with Knox on those levels and get all of the things that don't matter out of the way. And you know, some people dig it, some people don't. But for us, it's the only way to do it. And we might end up going in and doing some, you know, full band things. But it really should be interesting because I know the process won't change. It's still got to beat that litmus test. And it could get real interesting, you know, with 4 or 5 guys in there kicking it and having to do that same thing. Because it can be, you know, very humbling at times. You know, you think you really nailed it and it's just ain't getting it. And you know at your core you had been completely honest with it and you hadn't put your whole heart into it. He just has a knack for picking up on that when he knows you're trying to fake it. It can be pretty devastating when you're trying to dodge the truth, but when you're willing to, you know, dig in and do whatever it takes, it can be really nourishing and a real growing thing.
Absolutely. And I think I've heard you say that before about the process of working, you know, with, as you call him, Knox.
To be a fly on the wall.
Yeah. How he was always talking to you about, you know, the rawness and the realness of it. And to me, I've always felt like that is what is true art. And going over something and changing it after it's done over and over, sometimes it takes the energy out of it. And all of your stuff is so alive with that. And Degueo Motella, we mentioned earlier, your last album, I mean, is just phenomenal album. And here you are again. And I know you had said when you were making Degueo that you were going to make kind of like a part 2 or a follow-up. And, you know, that's what Southbound Train is, right, Roger? I mean,
I think it is. You know, we went in with a whole other thing. I had another concept in mind of the follow-up, and I think it'll happen eventually, but we just got in there, and this thing kind of took its own design and turned into something entirely different. You know, we were sitting there listening back, and we both realized it at the same moment. We were going to do The Last Request of Elijah Rose, which is just kind of a thinly disguised version of My Life on the Streets of Brainerd, but we cut a bunch of great songs, but these are the ones that seem to hold together as a unit, and it seemed to be their time. You know, I'm not trying to be overly poetic about it or nothing, but it just, you know, they took their own shape. Dan Creech as well was feeling it. Knox had told me before when Del Guayo came together, I had this idea for making it like a concept thing, and it was driving me nuts because it wouldn't come together. Just trying to force it. And the way he put it was, you know, we don't edit while we're filming, you know, so don't try to edit while you're recording. Just get it all down, then let it be what it is. And we got really lucky because Del Guayo turned out to be just exactly what it was intended once, you know, we let it go and it came back to us that way. And Southbound Train was the same way, other than the fact it wasn't what we started out with, like Del Guayo. We didn't even have no idea it was there. And then when we were done, it just sort of laid in our lap. And I think it's our best thing yet. I'm just really, really pleased with it. I'm really proud of it and very pleased and happy with it.
This is Brigitte London with my special guest co-host, Daryl Wayne Dasher, for this special anniversary show here, 2 years of the Highwaywoman radio show, and so excited to have both Daryl Wayne Dasher here, otherwise known as Dash, and our songwriting hero, Mr. Roger Allen Wade, who's got a brand new album out called Southbound Train. Let's give our audience more of a taste of it. Why don't you pick a song for us to play, Roger?
You know, I think if you'll play Chillicothe Rain, it's the kind of thing I was talking about earlier, trying to use simple everyday words to try to get across an idea that's a little harder to get your head around sometimes. I don't know if I got it, but it seems like I was trying to write something along the lines of Sing Me Back Home, which I think is one of Merle Haggard's greatest songs. But not that the world needs another prison song after that, because he pretty much nailed it. But this is just trying to get to that place, and we all got to figure out at some point.
Some people stay in hell just because they know the names of the streets. Some lay their soul on the anvil, hand on the hammer, yeah, that's me. My storm will soon be over when they run lightning through my brain. By the time you read this, I'll be a lily white mist in the Chillicothe rain.
Hell of a song, Chillicothe Rain, from our guest, Roger Allen Wade.
Johnny Paycheck done some time there in Chillicothe, and then there's a reference to Steubenville, which is where Dean Martin was born, and I don't know what that has to do with it. But yeah, I got the idea really that because Johnny Paycheck, I always liked the sound of the word, and then I saw Johnny Paycheck had served time there, and Merle Haggard had gone up there to the prison to sing with him one time.
Our friend, great songwriter, Billy Don Burns, actually went in and recorded an album with Paycheck and Haggard when he was there. At that prison.
I love Billy Don, man. I'm just a big fan of his work, and what a sweet cat, man.
Yeah, and they recorded that whole album with Paycheck and Merle there, and the album never got released due to some stuff with, Harlan Howard. You know how there's a lot of red tape and all that kind of stuff, but it'd be nice to see that light of day. That's just kind of an interesting little tie-in.
Billy Don's got one of my favorite song titles ever. It's one of those things you wish, like, dang, I wish I'd have thought of that, but he did, and it's just brilliant, man. It's called Dark Side of the Spoon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That just knocks me out, man.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I guess it was about a week ago now, Billy Don and I hitchhiked together down to Texas to play with Brigitte there in Marble Falls. Billy Don and I stopped in Memphis and did the radio show there on Radio Memphis, and Billy Don played that song. And it was funny because everybody was in this, bright, happy mood. And he's like, well, what you going to play, Billy Don? He says, I don't know why. I'm going to play this song. And he played Dark Side of the Spoon. And it was like dead silent when he finished. Like everybody was still trying to play it.
I want to grab you by the collar.
Oh, yeah.
Sure will.
Speaking of kind of stuff grabbing you by the collar and getting down to the gut and the heart of it, and you were talking earlier about, I loved what you said about the truth and letting the, sometimes the truth is just best. I can't remember exactly how you said it, but letting it unfold. And, there's a song on here that I was so excited to see you put on this album. I had heard a bootleg of it, as like Dash and I were talking earlier. You're live at the Saxon Pub. We found a lot of Roger Allen Wade gems of stuff you did live that the Saxon put up. And this song was on there, I Survived.
Yeah.
God, I listened to that, and it's like, and I know that I'm one of so many people. This is why your music is so important, Roger, is because even though you're telling your story, you resonate with so many, with that part in everyone. You have just an ability to bring it out. And when did you write that song, Raj?
That hadn't been too long ago. That was pretty much when I was just getting the guts to put pen to paper again after I got clean. I just didn't know if I could do it anymore. And then I just decided to give it a whirl, and that was one of the first few I wrote after I got clean. Man, it was just I just really liked that song. They all mean something to you, but that one in particular, because it's a lot of $2 words in it, but then there's like a $1 million payoff, as far as how it looked to me after kind of getting resurrected from whiskey and cocaine and all those things that you go through trying to get to the point that that song, being able to write that song, I couldn't have written that when I was jacked up or bombed, you know. And just to go through all that and come out on the other side and find that waiting there, just, you know, it really means a lot to me.
It's beautiful. My favorite part, of course, is in the chorus, you know, forgive myself and everyone for everything along the way. Like, wow. Yeah, we got to play that, Raj.
Let her rip, Tater
I
Kip.
agree.
Dang.
My troubles, and I'll spare you explanations of my dreams. I don't know enough to understand the reasons. I know enough to know I don't know anything. Hey, but I survived, and now I go on living. And I live forever every day. And I forgive myself, and I'm forgiven everyone for everything along the way.
Woo! I Survived by the one and only Mr. Roger Allen Wade. This is Brigitte London with my special co-host, Daryl Wayne Dasher. God, I love that so much. I love every song so much, so... Man.
I can't wait to hear your takes on them, man. And I gotta come mow Dash's yard or wash his car or something to get him to do some more of them too.
Well, my car
next
is a little
time I
dirty.
see you and Billy Dunn hitchhiking, I'll pick you up if y'all will record some of these songs.
Okay, that's a deal.
You
Let's
be
just all
careful.
tour
I'll pick you
together.
up anyway, man. You know that. I ain't got if I had a car.
I ain't got one either, Raj.
I just got one. Thank you, my grandma. My grandma gave me a car, so thank you very much.
Answers come to those who walk.
That's right.
right.
That's right. It was like, careful what you say, Raj. Dasher's going to be on your doorstep tomorrow morning.
You're only
Man,
2
come
hours
on.
away.
You know we got the light on for you.
We had a great time. Dash and I actually came and stayed with you guys. That was, what, 2 years ago now, right?
Been too long, yeah, just been too long. But we just long to see y'all again and can't wait till the next time.
Are you performing a lot? Have you got any shows coming up we can tell folks about, Raj?
Oh, let me see here. I know on one that I think you ought to try to make it in for. It's December the 19th. We're going to be here in Chattanooga at Rhythm and Brews to do a show for our friend Jim Bowles, who has a thing called Chatta Country,
Yeah.
promoting music around here. And so they're going to do a big thing to help Jimmy with the Chatta Country side. And just a great cat and does a lot for local music. And he and my friend Bob Payne works for the Riverton Festival here. Jim Bowles and Bob Payne have done more for local musicians around here than anybody.
That's right.
And then that's on the 19th, and it'll be with my friend Shannon Wilson and Davey Smith and Nathan Farrell, Robbie Hopkins, and whoever else we can get to come down and make a joyful noise. And then a couple of days after that, I'm going to stay around home on Friday the 21st of December, be at the Ringgold Acoustic Cafe. And I always enjoy getting down into North Georgia and seeing my pals down there. So 19th at Rhythm and Brews and the 21st at Ringgold Acoustic Cafe, all right here around sweet old Chattanooga. And we'll start getting back out after we get this record done. I think it was Dylan that said I paid the price of solitude, but at least I'm out of debt. And that's kind of what, this took a lot out of me, this record. So just getting it written and getting them like I wanted. So now, man, I about got my energy and courage up to get back out here and playing for the folks. So looking forward to that as well.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you and hoping you come back Texas way soon. Again, Texas loves you, Raj. You know that.
And I love sweet old Texas, man, especially, all our friends in Austin and a lot of cats down there making good music. I don't know if you know Cornbread and Luke Card and all them cats, but they're just the heart and soul of Austin, man.
Wonderful, wonderful. And now, we want to tell folks, too, you have a great radio show that you do with Johnny Knoxville, your cousin. And why don't you tell folks where and when they can listen to that?
Yeah, it's on Sirius XM, the Outlaw channel.
Yeah.
We just, we don't know nothing, man, as far as about radio or anything like that, but we just get on there and get to hang out with each other and have the best time doing it, you know. And it comes on every Saturday at 8 p.m. and then it rebroadcasts on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Mondays at midnight, Wednesdays at 8, and Fridays at midnight. It's called the Big Ass Happy Family Jubilee with my brilliant cousin Johnny Knoxville and myself, and it's just chock full of misinformation and corny jokes and the greatest music on the planet.
That's right. That's right. You know,
And that's on the Outlaw channel of Sirius XM. I believe it's channel 60. I don't know how
yes,
they got
it
all
is.
that.
I believe Channel 60. That's right. And it's a great show. It's a wonderful show, and most folks do know about it, but just in case there's some out there who don't, we want to tell them. Now, you know, Roger, I want to play, can we play a little bit more off your new album? Will you let us?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. There's a song, it's a sweet little love song. It's called Too Long Is the Time Between Now and When I Hold You Again. And I'd like to dedicate it to my sweet Tristan.
Yay.
Oh, we love Tristan.
Hi, Tristan.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I'll
there.
tell you. Hey,
We're hollering at her.
I just adore this song. If we could play that one, man, it'd just make my day.
Oh, wonderful. Absolutely. And give Tristan our love, too.
I sure will, honey. She's digging on her painting now, man. She's a wonderful artist, and you can find her paintings on Pinterest. It's Etsy. It's on Etsy. It's 1010 Tart. TINTINTART. You can check out her paintings, man. They're just wonderful. I'm just really proud of her.
Descending into alcohol and alchemy and solitude and poetry. And I may rest my weary body in a place where the four winds call home. But I pray I never darken the gate of where love goes when it's gone. Oh, it's a hard road I've chosen, one best traveled all alone. And the hardest miles will be those I call you collect from the twilight zone.
We got to hear one more from the great Roger Allen Wade and his new record, Southbound Train. This is one of my favorites, of course, aren't they all? If guitars were guns.
Out of tune and out of time. If guitars were guns, Lord, I'd be Jesse Jane. That's stealing the show, like robbing them trains, riding off to hide out in that Tennessee rain. Lord, if guitars were guns, I'd be Jesse Jane.
Hey, Dash, will you pick one of your favorites from one of Raj's former records? You pick something for us to play while we got Raj here. And
From
tell
one of
him
the
why you
former
love
records? The Cowboy Angel. Yeah, let's do Cowboy Angel from Daguelo Motel. That's another one. I think Creech worked with you on that record too, right, Raj?
Yeah, he sure did. I can't say enough about Revolving Blackbird Sound that's in Santa Monica, California, and our friend Dan Creech. And we just really think the world of him. I know Knoxville does as well at the time. And I love this song, Dash, and thank you for picking it.
Cool.
This is Cowboy Angel from Daguelo Motel. Roger Allen Wade, folks. We'll be right back.
A wild rose like those that grows along the road, a slow burning suicide. Well, don't you cry for the cowboy angel, it's too late anyhow. He's too far gone, still riding on, your tears can't help him now. Don't waste your love, sweet Magdalene, it'll only slow him down. Don't you cry for the cowboy angel, riding out to that sweet town.
And if you're just joining us, this is Brigitte London. You're listening to the Highwaywoman radio show, special 2-year anniversary.
Happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary!
my special guest co-host, Mr. Daryl Wayne Dasher, and our favorite songwriter, Mr. Roger Allen Wade. What an awesome show we've had. This has been just a blast, Raj. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I just want to tell everybody one more thing. Go get Great Big Sky by Daryl Wayne Dasher.
That's right.
Thank you so very much.
Get them while they last, and man, I'm just so proud of you, and just keep doing what you're doing.
Well, that means more than I can tell you coming from you, Raj. You one of those things, when you discover something. And thank you, Brigitte, for introducing me to Roger's music. I didn't realize I had already heard some of it from some of my heroes, like Johnny and Waylon and Willie. And when I got those, especially the bootlegs, and I got to just hear you perform those songs the way you did live in a pub, it really turned everything around for me. I don't think I would have made this record. It certainly wouldn't be anything like what it is if that hadn't happened to me. I mean, my whole world turned around. So just to have you say that's a big honor. And
man, same here. And we got the light on for you. So y'all, time you're this way, expect you to be here.
That's right, folks. And of course, the new album from Roger Allen Wade, Southbound Train. We're always excited to get new music from you. And just in listening to Dash talk and myself and see other people, it's got to feel really wonderful to know that you've had such an effect on other writers and other artists. I mean, you really have, Roger. That's a real statement. Nobody's blowing smoke up anybody's ass here. This is a true heartfelt statement that you have affected so many of us. And even as Dash is saying, changed, helped form his new direction where he's going. I know myself. I know that it definitely was a significant change in my life when I discovered your music, and to know that that's happened, especially when it once happened to you, and you even wrote a song about that, which is the first song I ever heard from you, which made me fall in love with your music to begin with. That I knew it was you anyway, like Dash said, the first time I saw Waylon.
I'll go and I'll spend a good part of my day listening to them. It wasn't just some sort of childish fascination, even after all this time, and, your life takes you so many different ways. Boy, it truly amazes me when he's on his game, man, there ain't nothing like Waylon. It means the world. I can still remember the first time I did see him, man. It was the coolest white guy I'd ever seen. He come out there, just grabbed him a handful of D and started walking that line, man, and ain't nothing ever hit me like that. I've seen all of my heroes, but nothing ever stopped me in my tracks like that.
We all, I think, definitely share that feeling about Waylon's music and how, he was definitely one of a kind, and I think that's kind of, one of the reasons we fell in love with you to start with is that you put into words. And I never saw Waylon live. Dash actually got to meet him when he was in high school. But,
wow, yeah,
right, Dash.
That's where it's at.
yeah, I kind of forced my way in, but poor guy.
That makes it even better.
Tell him the story real quick before we go.
Well, it was the first time I saw Waylon, actually, and it was in this little town called Elida, Ohio, which is basically just outside of Lima, which is also a small town. I don't remember who was able to bring him to this great hall that they had in Elida, and I remember being so excited about it for months. It was like the only thing I could concentrate on was that I was going to get to see Waylon Jennings. I got there at like 10 o'clock in the morning. The crew was just loading in. And, I was already sitting out there waiting. So the promoter ended up coming around and being like, "What are you doing here?" And, I was sitting in my old red S10 truck and was listening to the old Waylon cassette. I remember that. I remember pretty much everything, actually, come to think of it. I remember the entire day. But, yeah, he was like, I said, well, I'm the biggest Waylon fan. I said, this guy's kind of changed my life, and I'm just so excited. This will be the first time I'll get to see him. And he said, well, my wife's not really a big music fan, and she might not come. So if she doesn't, I'll try to find you, and I'll give my her pass. And I was like, oh my gosh, so I stood where he told me to stand, and after offering to help the crew load in and everything, and they're all looking at me like I was crazy. And anyway, I stood there all day, and finally when it came time, he came out and he had her pass, so I was able to get in with them. And I was actually talking to the guy that did the bronze for the cover of the new Classic Waylon album. I don't know why he was there. He was passing through from Michigan or something. That would have been Bill Raines. So we were kind of hanging out and talking. I thought, well, this is really cool. He brought a scrapbook for Waylon to see some of his work. When Waylon came out, they said somebody came out ahead of time and said, well, his hands, he doesn't sign a lot of autographs, and he might not shake your hand even, and don't take offense to it or anything. And I was like, I just to be in the presence was going to freak me out, And so he came in, and I had my Telecaster just kind of with me, and my old Waylon tape case was in it. And he saw that old Waylon tape, and he was like, "You still listening to cassettes?" Because I hadn't got a CD player yet. And I said, "Yeah," and he said, "Well, let me see that Telecaster." And I handed it to him, and he grabbed a marker and signed it, and
wow.
it was the only autograph he gave. He didn't give anybody else an autograph and didn't, explain anything. And I was just I couldn't even hardly speak, because it's different when it's a star or something, but it's different when it's actually like somebody that you consider legendary that has changed your life, And he's sitting there signing my guitar, and I was really excited. He gave me his guitar pick, and I got to sit with Jesse for the show, which was really cool.
Wow, what a day, man.
Yeah, I'll never forget it. Never forget it,
Pretty amazing, and I'm gonna play that song that you did the first time I saw Waylon, Roger. Can I play that right now?
Absolutely.
Willie Nelson, Lord, with nowhere's left to go. Till that first time I saw Waylon at Memorial Auditorium in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Oh, that first time I saw Waylon, Elvis and the Beatles didn't mean a damn thing to me. Yeah, my uncle saw that look in my eye, said the boy will never work another day in his life. A Telecaster chicken picking rhythm just send me sailing.
Oh, our amazing guest, Roger Allen Wade, folks, with the first time I saw Waylon. My special co-host is with me, Daryl Wayne Dasher. We've been talking with Roger, who music that we love so much. His brand new album is Southbound Train.
Well, I love you guys. I'm just, this has been just a wonderful way to spend the afternoon. Just can't wait to hear Great Big Sky by Dash, and can't wait to hear what Bridget's got cooking up. It's always so neat just to see what it is, because it's always so unique and sweet. But man, just been an absolute pleasure, guys, and can't wait for everybody to hear Southbound Train.
That's right.
So just check it out, iTunes, Amazon, or anywhere music's available online. There'll also be ways, we'll have it out there, how to get to the hard copy CD. You can go to official Roger Allen Wade on Facebook, or just email me, rogerallenwade@yahoo.com, and we'll get you fixed up. We can't wait for folks to hear it.
That's right. That's Southbound Train. Here's folks. We love you, Roger.
Love you, kid. Love you, Dash.
Love you, Raj. Thanks for everything, man.
All right, guys. Knock 'em dead.
Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Brigitte London, and this has been the Highwaywoman Radio Show.
Now there she goes, the highway woman, and she's brought music